Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SHW F1 podcast. I'm Tom Delicati here with John White. The doctor is not in today. Poor guy. He's playing adult baseball. Is that?
I believe that's the rumor. Adult baseball.
Yes, not Little League or anything like that. He's playing adult baseball somewhere like 90 minutes from his house. So he's out of commission this week, so we will dearly miss Dr. Brady King.
Hey, while the doctor's away, Tom and John will play.
We got a good little show. We're going to talk through the Austrian Grand Prix. John and I also went to see the F1 movie. And then we got to talk about our Silverstone three-pointers coming up this weekend. But before we can do any of that, a tradition unlike any other, it is our 15-second race reviews. And this week, without Brady, I was really on the fence about this. I thought we shouldn't do 15-second race reviews. I was planning not to do one. But you've convinced me that the show must go on.
Yeah.
And it's really like next man up. So we've got to establish a bench here. If one of us has to miss a week, we need stand-ins.
Stand-ins, don't say that. We're about to get inundated with text messages and calls.
They're all your buddies.
The doors will be beaten down.
We're going to do our 15-second race reviews, and we'll go, obviously, in reverse order. And since Brady's not here, bringing up third place in our top five, bottom five standings, I then will have to go first. So let's see if I can do this. And now our main event, in a steel cage, no-holds-barred street fight. Fighting out of the red corner, weighing a combined metric ton, it's David Croft and Martin Brundle. And in the blue corner, weighing a combined 35 stone, it's Harry Benjamin and Karun Chandok. So let's get ready to rumble! Give me Karun and Harry all day long, every day. 99 times out of 100. And the only time that I wouldn't pick them is if they are ill.
I might pick them even if they were ill, because I enjoy them that much more.
The good dudes, I really, really enjoy their commentary. I mean, that was like not about the race at all, but that was the biggest takeaway for me of that race was that I got to hear Harry and Karun the whole time. It was great. They were fantastic.
Every time Karun says something, I learn something new. And I think that that's pretty cool. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's fun to listen to. Yeah, give me that duo all day.
Don't sleep on Brundle, though. I mean, give credit where credit's due, because I really enjoy Martin Brundle. But the fact that we get Martin Brundle with Crofty combined, that is starting to really, to use a Peter Griffin term, grind my gears.
Oh, no. Really...
Why did you turn your mic off when you said, oh, no?
Well, I turned it off because I had to cough, but I was going to try to do a Peter Griffin impersonation and then realized quickly I don't know how to do one, and maybe on the podcast is not the time to play with it.
No, we've decided that every time you try a new accent or voice, it just comes out like Borat. So let's just step aside from that one.
This is true.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, go.
Austria might have declared political neutrality in 1955, but in 2025, they declared all-out war on F1. So grab some Wiener Schnitzel, turn on Mozart, and a D for DNFs, a race with McLaren. You get the drift. Top five, bottom five was destroyed. Lawson beat Max and Yuki. And at one point, we felt like 3 minutes separated the top five. 10 out of 10, Austria would do it again.
That was excellent. Yes, that was excellent. My three-pointer got absolutely smashed on Saturday when I chose, I thought the top five in qualifying would be separated by less than half a second, which I thought was a really solid bet there because everyone, the field was so bunched up going into this weekend. It's a short track. I thought I was going to pull a fast one on you guys, and then Lando goes and scores pole by over half a second. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I was hurt and I was offended personally.
I was happy, although I didn't really realize it until we were driving to the race on Sunday morning because I didn't really keep up with qualifying like I should. So I was excited to know that you did not hit your three-pointer while on our way to the race, but I don't believe anyone did. So it didn't really matter this week, did it?
Actually, Brady got his three-pointer.
Oh, he did. Well,
Brady got his three-pointer.
You know what?
Brady scored a really good weekend, and I want to congratulate him because he was the highest scorer of the weekend by far, but he got 5 out of his 10, which was further than either of us, and he got his 3-pointer. So he had an 8-point weekend. You had a 3-point weekend.
So good.
And I had a 4-point weekend. So he crushed it this weekend. And he's not even here to celebrate or gloat, whichever one he's going to choose to do. But congratulations to Brady. Although he's still in third place with 65 points overall, I have 70 and you have 77. So the gap closed a little bit between all of us this weekend, but we still maintain the same position in the standings. Just as a reminder, your 3-pointer was Hulkenberg would overtake Ocon in the Drivers' Championship, and congrats to Hulk on the points. But even if Ocon wouldn't have scored the 1 point, they would have been tied.
So I wouldn't have got it anyway.
And I don't think you would have got it. Yeah.
No.
So John and I went to Conlin's Pub in Fort Worth. We hang out with the DFW F1 Breakfast Club, although it was a little sad that this was the first time that we went down there and didn't get to hang out with Bill, who's the organizer of the DFW F1 Breakfast Club meetups, and his crew. But it was a good turnout. What was there, about 30 people down there?
I would say 25 to 31 people.
Ooh, that's very precise.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. I was really missing, and we didn't even really talk about it till the very end. I was missing the stat screen that they typically have up, where you can see the micro sectors and see how lap times are comparing to their best lap, their current lap. That's part of the fun for me, is that I can just walk up and gather that information just with my eyeballs. And I missed that. That was a little bit of a bummer, but I don't count it against them. Don't hold any grudge.
No, I mean, they still had it displayed on 7 or 8 screens, one of which was on a projector. Yeah. So, definitely first world problems. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything was great. We got to talk about that first stint and really the battle up front between Lando and Oscar, because they were battling and pulling away from the pack. And I think there was a quote, I'm going to butcher this. There was a quote by Christian Horner after the race that said Oscar Piastri was practically making love to his effing tailpipe in order to stay close to Lando and not burn up his tires.
I must have missed that quote.
But it was really impressive how those two cars were able to battle and pull away, and how Oscar was able to stay that close and not burn up his tires. I mean, they basically had a 20-lap battle.
Yeah, it was, after turn 1, we started to see some separation. And then you and I were discussing this. It was just like they kept pulling away more and more and more from the pack, but not from each other. And it was a back and forth battle between McLaren. And it was really exciting because normally when we see a McLaren out there, or George from, a couple of weeks ago, whoever gets out in front normally just runs away with it. And that wasn't the case. So it's fun to see a good battle up front. I thought that they were a little too aggressive at times. But hey, racing is racing. Papaya rules applied. Go get him. Unfortunately, he couldn't.
Yeah, it was cool how Oscar was really attacking Lando. And then they had that moment right before the pit stop where Oscar was trying to kind of take an inside line dive bomb and almost crashed into the back of Lando.
That was that could have been really bad.
Yeah, and then they came out of their pit stops and they came over team radio and basically said, "Hey, it's fine to race, but let's be cautious, not like last time."
I believe that it was what did they say? No more 50-50 moves.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think that was the commentator on it. No more 50-50 moves.
But it was very entertaining, and even when Max, oh gosh.
Oh, look at that. Your true heart and feelings come out, don't they? Just let them out, Tom. Just let them out.
Oh, gosh, I feel so uncomfortable with what I just said. With Lando putting some space there after the pit stop, he was a few seconds ahead. And then after the second pit stop, he was still 5 or 6 seconds ahead. But I believe it was at the end of the race when he saw Oscar chipping away at his lead. And he basically came over the radio saying, "I need more pace. Help." You remember that?
I do remember that. I don't know if scary is the right word, but definitely alarmed. Because that's one of the things that we saw here was like Oscar did stay so close for so long and didn't let him get away. And to me, that just proved, although the results didn't show it, it proved to me that Oscar's faster than Lando. He just couldn't make the right move that day, but he's faster than Lando. And if I was Lando, I would be a little bit nervous about that.
Well, I mean, Oscar is the championship leader. Like, even after Lando's win, he's still got a 10, 15 point cushion, whatever it is. I mean, Lando should be worried if we're being honest here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Zach said this last season in Drive to Survive. We have two number one drivers, and they've said that over and over and over again. And I think I believe Will Buxton came on and said, very rarely, if ever, does that ever work out for a team.
Yeah. You might get one season out of it.
And yeah, we're about to have more than one season out of it.
I know.
And I think for McLaren and for Zach and team, it's working.
I hope so. I hope it continues to work. I hope they continue to work well together as a team, because ultimately, that's what the Zach Browns and Andrea Stellas of the world care about. They want to be the top constructor, and you have competing priorities because Lando wants to be world champion. Oscar wants to be world champion. They're going to win the Constructors' Championship, but can they play nicely enough and race cleanly enough to not become enemies? You know what I mean? Like, they can be healthy rivals.
Yeah.
And part of that is personality. Like, I don't think either of them have the personality to be like enemies. Oscar showed the closest thing to it this weekend when he talked about his incidents with Colapinto and Gasly, and he made the comment about Alpine is still trying to F him after all these years.
Yeah, I did see that.
That was like one of the first times I really saw him or read about him having a little bit of an attitude. Like, he's typically very easygoing, even keel, and I still think he is. And I feel the same way about Lando. And that's why I think these guys, it would be very, very difficult. Something drastic and devastating would need to happen for them to truly become enemies. And I don't think it's a one incident thing. I think it would have to be a pattern of behavior over multiple races where it just festers and they don't deal with it. Like, when they came together in Canada and Lando essentially ruined his race, had risked ruining Oscar's race, but didn't. He owned it, went and apologized. Like, so I kind of think that they're going to both play it that same way, because the odds of them being on the same bit of track together in the rest of the season is very high.
Yeah. More often than
they're going
not.
to find each other on track, and they're going to continue to battle. They're going to continue to race. And so inevitably something more is going to happen.
I think they're going to be fine. I'm with you. I don't see that being an issue between the two of them, but I do think, because we got to remember Oscar's still young in his F1 career. I think we're going to see more comments like that from him as he gets more and more comfortable. Like, he's an Iceman. Like, and I think not so much like Max, but somewhere in between Max and Lewis is where I see him landing.
I don't know. I tend to see him be. Are you talking about Lando or Oscar?
I'm talking about Oscar.
That's what I thought.
Did I say Lando?
I don't remember, honestly.
You're like, I wasn't listening. I don't know.
Because I was thinking about the next thing I was going to say. I wasn't completely listening to you. No, I feel like including Max in any sort of comparison to Oscar, whether you're trying to put polar opposites in there or not, I think it's probably pretty unfair, just because I do think they're so drastically far apart.
Yeah.
But I think Oscar is way more long-term thinker, really strategic, really cerebral.
Yeah.
Patient. And Max, yes, patient. Max has shown a history of being a little bit more of a hothead.
No. I don't believe that.
Not for what was that? What was that meme you sent? If it were George instead of Kimmy, Max would have been chasing him down out of his wrecked car.
Most definitely. But I mean, look how he did handle it with Kimmy.
It's true. It showed a huge sign of maturity there.
And he's done that a couple of times.
He also has decided to let George pass him and then ram into him. So
That was last season.
no, it wasn't. It was like 3 weeks ago.
It might as well have been last season.
It was like last month.
Listen, I don't live in the past, okay? I live in the now.
My point in saying it is that Max, for all of his, he's got a big uphill climb. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
To really change his attitude or to show the world that he is different and maturing. It's a longer road for him.
Yeah. Okay. I can agree with that.
All right. Let's take a quick break and then we got to talk about the F1 movie because I've got a lot of things to say about it. So we had a full day on Sunday between 7 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. We spent a lot of time together.
We did. It was nice. It was quite lovely. And for those who follow us on the socials, you saw the most F1 of F1 days ever. But yeah, it was a long, fun day.
A lot of bro time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we went and watched the race with our friends down at the DFW F1 Breakfast Club. Then we were going to go check out the F1 movie, and we decided to put about an hour gap between leaving the bar and the actual movie. And on the way, we decided, let's go to do some karting.
Mm-hmm.
And was that your first time there?
It was my first time.
So we went to the Andretti Indoor Karting Center. And John, why don't you give your quick feedback of your experience there? What pros and cons?
Well, we definitely figured out doing it on a Sunday morning is the best because there's not a ton of people there. I thought the prices were fair for what you were going to get. We only had time for one race. I think 3 is the way to do it because it takes one race to really get warmed up and figure the car out. And remember that you have an overtake button that you can use once per lap, and I never did that. So that would be a con for me is my memory on the overtake button. But the karts were quick. It was fun. We did a little sim racing, which proved to be quite difficult. That thing was shaking all over the place. I was not a huge fan of that, probably just because I wasn't good at it. But the karting itself was a blast. And that's something I could see doing more regularly, especially since we have the lap times and we can kind of see fastest lap, which, news alert, Tom beat me. But yeah, it's definitely something I would want to do again.
We need to go back with a bigger group. That's what I feel like.
But we need to go back and get some practice. Then we bring the bigger group, and they're like, man, Tom and John are really good at this.
These guys are dialed in.
Yeah. We'll be like, oh, it's only my second time to do it. I don't know. Beginner's luck.
You guys want to bet on lap times next time?
Just bomb the first race and then start doing bets.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. All right. Then we went to see the F1 movie. And I spoke last week about my expectations after reading the synopsis and viewing the trailer. It had started to kind of knock down in my mind. I was really lowering the bar of what was going to be a fun and exciting movie and trying not to have many expectations for it. And from what I remember, they hook you into everything in the first 10 minutes. They hook you in with action sequence. They hook you in with storyline. They hook you in with character development. Within the first 10 minutes, you know exactly what this movie is about and who all the major players are. And I thought that was a very good way to unfold the story.
It was, we talked about our expectations, and I thought the love story would take over and get too mushy, and it didn't. It was the perfect amount of love story. So that was
tasteful.
It was very tasteful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the first 10 minutes, you're getting some flashbacks of older F1 races from 30 years ago. The 500,
the Daytona,
the
car,
24-hour Daytona. You're getting to see like who Brad Pitt really is, or Sonny Hayes. Yeah. And right then and there, you're like, yep, this movie's going to be great. Like if the 10 minutes is anything, if the other 2 hours and 20 minutes is like the first 10, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah. And it absolutely was. I think we both walked out of there feeling like that was great.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it really was. And you walked out and you kind of looked over to me and you just said, I love that.
I did.
Like you were so serious and, and so enthralled. I appreciate your love of it. I thought it was really, really good. The one thing, a couple things that I had written down, and these are, no, I apologize if these are spoilers for anyone. The initial meeting between Ruben, played by Javier Bardem, and Brad Pitt's Sonny Hayes character, where he's trying to lure him back to F1. And I think they played it really well because they could have made that such a hemming and hawing and back and forth type of thing, but they really made it very concise and made it more like well, why wouldn't you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, you're right, and then went and did it. I leaned over and I mentioned to you during that scene, like, I don't think I've ever brushed my teeth in the shower. Like Brad Pitt brushes his teeth in the shower. I don't think I've ever done that. Now, I have seen that in movies before. Obviously, that's not an uncommon thing. I just don't know if anyone out there listening is a shower teeth brusher upper. Let me know.
I used to be in my first place that I lived in.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, and it just saved time in the morning.
Do you keep the toothbrush in the shower? I'm confused about the logistics here.
No, I would bring it in with me, and then like set it on the counter afterwards. Like,
so if your shower doesn't have a place to, like, do you put it on the soap dish if you didn't have a shelf in the shower?
Yeah. Just set it down there when you're done, and then you take it out and put it back on the counter or the whatever, wherever you keep your toothbrush afterwards. That's where you put it. I
am utterly fascinated by this.
I don't think it really saved me any time, but I felt like it saved me time in the morning. And so, like, hey, why not?
Fair enough. Now the character development, and we'll get to the love story in a minute, but I did feel like they tried to like kind of slap you in the face with who Joshua Pierce is.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of, I don't know, I felt like it was a little stereotype, or just kind of like he's the young, cocky prima donna, stuff like that. And I get that there are plenty of people like that out in the world. I just don't know of any F1 drivers that I've seen, researched, or experienced who are like really like that. So it was a little bit of a caricature to me. And honestly, like, one of the funniest scenes that stand out to me is that first test where Brad Pitt drives the car at Silverstone and wrecks it as he's crossing the finish line. And then they get out and he's talking about how the car behaves, and you get Kate, the engineer, or the technical director, who's just like, you could see her frustration with Joshua Pierce and her immediate like, oh, this is sent from heaven, somebody who can actually talk to me about how to make changes to a car. I thought that was a little much.
Both of those were a little much, but again, spoiler if you haven't seen it, just fast forward through the rest of the show until we get to our 3-pointers. But
thanks for coming.
I think it was necessary for the theme of the movie, right? Because you ultimately what you're seeing is the Lone Ranger who's solely worried about his career and if he's going to get picked up by another team in case this team gets sold. Yeah. And he turns from that guy only worried about himself to, this is my team. We're a team. We're in this together. And so in order for the storyline to solidify and like resonate at the end, he's got to be that guy at the front, right? Like it makes sense.
I totally get it. It's a 2.5-hour movie. If you want that type of development, it's going to be a 5 to 6 hour movie. It's going to be a mini series. It's going to be another Drive to Survive. So I understand it from that perspective. I'm not your traditional moviegoer.
How are you not a traditional moviegoer? What does that mean?
I mean, like, maybe not a traditional movie. I'm not a frequent movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't really go to the movies. And to that point about being a 2.5-hour movie and could have easily been a 5 or 6 hour movie, the fact that they totally breeze past the whole, this is his first weekend in F1 and we get to see nothing about like practice or qualifying or anything like that. It's just immediately he's racing.
Yep.
And being the F1 fans that we are, that was a little jarring. It's like, oh, come on. We've been watching Drive to Survive for 6 years now, 7 years. Like, give me a break. I should be able to see a little bit of the buildup, the context associated with it. But again, it's a 2.5-hour movie. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was, I remember when we went into that first weekend, we looked at each other and we're like, so we're not going to show qualifying FP1, like nothing. Nope, going straight into the race. And obviously you could deduct how they did because I started at the back of the grid. What I wanted to do going into this movie is it's a movie, not a documentary. And so I wanted to be real careful not to fault them for every little thing that wasn't exactly right, because ultimately we're there to be entertained, right? Like if we want to see the rules and regulations, we just watched that on Sunday morning. We saw the race. This is a movie. Entertain me, build it around F1. Doesn't have to be completely factual, which it wasn't. How he got a seat didn't even become completely factual at the end of the movie, right? Like there's some regulations there that were just overlooked, but it was super entertaining. It was really well put together. There was a lot of action, a lot of dialogue too. Mm-hmm. Not as more dialogue than what I expected to see between the characters. With Pierce and his mom, with Sonny, with Kate.
That was good.
Yeah.
I actually really liked the character arc for Joshua Pierce between the relationship with his mom and his agent and the team and all that stuff. Like, I actually really liked that. I thought that was well played.
Yeah.
And it didn't like bog down the movie. It didn't detract from the main story. I thought it was good supporting actor type stuff.
It got you more. It peeled back the onion of who they were as people, what they're looking at, what they're trying to accomplish, and got you from not really being a big fan of Pierce at the beginning of the movie to I'm pulling for this guy at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he definitely won me over. And I think that was the purpose of his character development in the movie. Like mission accomplished, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I did hate.
Tell me.
Is that Brad Pitt just left it at the end. Like gets a podium, changes clothes, and is out of there before like the paddock clears out.
I thought that was kind of lame.
I hated that.
I don't want to say it was in poor taste or anything like that, but it's like, come on. You don't need to make him do that.
But you knew it was going to happen. You knew after Daytona, you knew exactly what was going to happen. Like if he went into this, like he wasn't going to be a F1 driver. He was going to go do what he needed to do and he was going to leave. So like they told you in the first 10 minutes what was going to happen.
I get that. But it's almost like, I don't know. To me, it's like sending a message of like, is he too proud to celebrate the victories? Mm-hmm. Like, is it just always like, this isn't the destination. I'm on to something else.
The journey is the destination, Tom.
I understand, but like,
I'm with you though. I didn't like it.
I celebrate the successes along the way. Like that's just me and my personality. And the whole like romance angle of, she goes and finds him afterwards. Again, he's already changed. He's showered. He's packed. He's ready to go. It was all part of his plan that he was going to be out the door. He's not leaving her. They were never supposed to be together. Like
that was weird.
It was a little bit weird. And then he's like just walking to the parking lot and getting in the van. And, Joshua's still in his race suit and he's running out to catch him. Like that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of left me a little bit sour at the end. And just in terms of like how to really tie a bow on it, I would almost have rather not had those last couple scenes. After he wins the race, cool. Maybe a little bit of a tie a bow on the Kate story, but the way he was leaving and then Pierce getting him in the parking lot and then him going to Baja, just before you roll the credits, like just put up a little thing that said, Sonny Hayes went to Baja. And he, and then show me the clips of him driving around the desert. Like you didn't need to play out that story in actual 5 minutes worth of movie scenes.
That would have been a better ending. I'm with you. As a non-traditional moviegoer, you nailed it.
My only other thing, and this is just a little like dramatic gripe I have with it, and it was the hospital scene. It was with Ruben visiting Sonny in the hospital,
who was hooked up to nothing whilst in the hospital.
Agreed. Yes,
just laying in a bed.
Just laying in bed.
Yeah.
Ruben enters and he's telling him, "You're off the team," right? And as Ruben walks away, Brad Pitt says, "Ruben, I need this." That line right there, I actually wrote it down. The Ruben, I need this line made my skin crawl. Like, come on. That is so cheesy.
A little bit. Yeah. Well, and then come to find out, he didn't really need it. Because if he needed it, he would have stayed. Otherwise, he would have just went to Baja after that anyway, right? Like,
exactly.
Did you need it? No, I don't know.
Wanted it.
You wanted
it. Wanted it.
That's what you wanted it. That's okay.
It is. It is. All right. That was a really good time spent on Sunday together. It was a very good movie. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. Hopefully you have seen it, because if you've listened to this chunk of episode with us, we've spoiled most of it for you.
Yeah, we pretty much told you the whole movie. So sorry.
Mm-hmm. And Brady did see it. I kind of wish we could talk to Brady right now and hear his opinions on it, but we can't. Boo-hoo. So we're going to talk about Silverstone real quick and just kind of give our 3-pointers. We'll post our top 5, bottom 5 to the socials. And then, John, you can get back to your family vacation. I'm about to leave on my family vacation tomorrow. So let's just go through our 3-pointers real quick. And we don't have Brady's with us right now, so we'll post that as well.
Sounds good.
So, John, you're in the lead. You first.
My 3-pointer this week is that there will be one or more, I know you hate that, pit lane starts.
I kind of feel like this is the point in the season where people change power units and stuff like that.
You think so?
I think they just kind of break Parc Fermé and change components, especially if they're at the back of the grid. This is really tough for me because I'm on an island here trying to argue with you. I don't have any backup.
That just tell me what you're thinking. We'll walk through it together.
I'm initially thinking 2 or more is valid, but my 3-pointer is also a 1 or more.
So you're trying to think ahead here, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'll do. Since I have a commanding lead, I'm fine with 2 or more.
2 or more pit lane starts. That's a real 3-pointer.
Okay. 2 or more.
Yeah. Okay. My 3-pointer
denied
was that 1 or more cars will use all 3 tire compounds in the race. A soft, a medium, and a hard.
I will do to you what you did to me. If you give me
it is.
If you give me 2 or more, then you've got yourself a deal. That seems like a real 3-pointer.
It is. You're right. Yeah. All right. 2 or more cars will use all 3 tire compounds. 2 or more drivers. I apologize. All right. And then we'll get Brady's some other time and we'll post it and everybody will pick on him, hopefully. And then we'll post our top 5, bottom 5. So, John, enjoy the rest of your vacation. I'm going to go try and enjoy as much of mine as possible. And I think I'm going to take next week off. You might record with Brady. We'll just kind of see what happens.
All right. Well, we will do what we can, but make no promises.
Right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I'm going to go plaster a bunch of stickers all over Europe to get people to listen to this damn show.
Let's do it.
Love you.
Adios. Bye.